Welcome back to my little channel. Today I'm going to make a small response video to Ashley Mardell and Riley J. Dennis, because once again they want to tell us how many different genders there are and why they are all those things. Now, if you've seen a few of my videos, you know that gender dysphoria is something I really care about. And here they are promoting even more. This is pissing me off, it really is. And I'm going to try and tell you why. And I'm going to try to make them tell you why.
Oh god, I have to intro now. Hey guys, today I'm here with
Ashley Mardell.
And I am super excited because, shocker, we're going to talk about gender, which I never ever talk about on my channel.
I always talk about it on my channel.
In all fairness, you guys are always talking about gender. And if it's not just to say how we should respond to it, it is about how you feel your gender and what gender you are and how people should treat you is a thing.
Aye, and how much can you say about gender anyway? I mean, there's two, isn't there?
Well, biologically speaking, yes, there are only two genders. And sanely speaking, there are also only two genders. But there are exceptions to this rule. I mean, there are people born with more chromosomes or different chromosomes than is the norm. But this is not the sort of genders these guys are talking about.
Oh, what do they mean then?
We will get there. Well, they will get there. Just, you know, listen.
So I just have some questions for Ashley about your gender.
The gender is girl, innit? Should be.
No, just wait. They will get there. They both will.
And how you've gone through that. First off, how do you right now identify with your gender? Like, what labels do you like?
What labels do you like? How you identify with your gender? I mean, how hard is this stuff?
So, I'm still kind of in my questioning, deciding phase. I've been in it for a while, but I've decided that that's okay. But right now, I think some words that I'm okay with using, or that I'm confident using, are genderqueer, for certain. I really like the word genderqueer. I also like the word questioning.
Yeah.
And then words I'm kind of experimenting with are non-binary, demigirl, well, there was another one, there's more, gender fluid. Yep, and that's about it.
Ooh, I must have been out of it for a long time. What the hell is that? Genderqueer? You're questioning? Questioning what? I mean, the only thing out of this that makes any sense is demigirl, and I'm not sure how you can be half a girl.
Well, it's not really meant to make sense, you know. I mean, it's just a way so that they can pretend to be special, because being yourself isn't special anymore, it seems.
Aye, but then what's gender fluid? Does that mean that one day I'll be a boy, and when I feel like it, I'll suddenly be a girl, and then when I feel like it, I'll be a boy again? I mean, how is that? Me head hurts.
If you think your head hurts now, you should wait a moment. There are actually people out there who think this makes sense.
You're joking, aren't you?
I really wish I was, but unfortunately...
I remember last year, you were moderating a panel, and you said you're mostly cis and you kind of identify with demigirl. So can you tell me a little bit about like the journey that you've been on over the past, I don't know how long it's been, years or whatever?
So she went from cis to demigirl. What are these things?
Well, you guessed demigirl pretty well, and cis is... Well, how can I say this? The idiot's way of saying normal, I guess.
Then why can't they just say normal? I mean, seriously, this is doing me head in.
Well, they can't call you normal, because then that would imply that they're not normal, and that's something they don't want to imply.
But, I mean, seriously though, I mean, gender fluid and whatnot, that's the new normal now, is it?
Well, no, but they want it to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now I wouldn't identify as mostly cis. And even back then, I don't think I was mostly cis.
Yeah.
I think it's just the language I was using to kind of explore myself and, yeah, and kind of like dip my toes into my real identity.
So, cis is like another way of saying normal, and she didn't identify as normal back then either, and somehow this is a good thing? I mean, the other one is nodding his head like this is the best thing on earth since sliced bread.
Yeah, that's not really that weird. I mean, they are in each other's, how do you call it, extension. They both feel that what they are saying is true. They are both creating an echo chamber for themselves.
Oh, come on, now you're starting as well. What the hell is an echo chamber?
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't assume people know what it means. An echo chamber is basically when you try to have people around you that basically say the same thing as you do, and then you can all pat each other on the back because you're all so right.
So is that why that lad is moving his head like he's a bubblehead?
Well, yes, I think that's why.
But basically, so how I feel is I don't feel totally connected to the identity, like binary female. I feel somewhat connected to it. But I also feel like my identity has a lot of agender aspects.
She doesn't feel connected to the identity of binary female. What the hell is that identity? I mean, I've met a lot of females and none of them had the same identity.
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird, but they think that even though they have the body of a woman, they feel like something else, therefore they are something else. It's gender dysphoria, mate, I'm sorry.
Well, they don't seem to be upset about it or anything. It's almost as if it's a game for them.
Well, I guess you're right on that as well. I mean, they're not really gender dysphoric, but they are trenders. They try to be, or try to betray that they're something that they're really not. But by doing this, they try to make it normal. But there are people who actually do suffer from gender dysphoria. And somehow they try to make it sound normal, therefore gender dysphoria isn't an issue. But there are people actually really suffering from it.
So they're pretending to have a disorder that some people actually have, and they're trying to make it sound as if it's cool? Am I understanding this right?
Well, yeah, that's about it, really.
Then why do people still listen to these people? I mean, they are creating something that isn't there, and they seem to be becoming famous because of it? This is weird.
Well, they do come from the same culture that brought us Jackass. Doesn't that say it all?
And on different days, I will feel a connection to those things with different intensities. For a long time, I mean, the reason I would use phrases like mostly cis and stuff like that is it totally comes from like internalized transphobia and like not seeing non-binary identities as valid.
And this is basically how weird it gets. I mean, yes, she considers herself transgender, but she also considers herself a little bit cis from time to time, and she does that because of internalized transphobia. But wait a second, you're the one that is the trans person. Are you now somewhat afraid of who you are? This doesn't make any sense.
And look how fast she's switching between gender and bigender, and fucking hell, that's... Does that make any sense to you?
I imagine that doesn't make sense to anyone, to be honest.
So I just didn't think I was non-binary enough to call myself anything but cis.
And I guess this is how we know that we're dealing with trenders and not genders. I didn't feel I was cis enough or I was binary enough. Sorry, but if you feel that you're not a girl, you feel you're not a girl. If you feel I might be a girl, but maybe not enough, I'm sorry, you're making shit up. Talk to people with real gender dysphoria, with real issues about their gender, not someone who wants to pretend to play along. Come on. Well, maybe I'm not being friendly and nice and whatnot, but you are really being disingenuous. This is really annoying.
And how is calling yourself normal a problem? I don't get this either.
Yeah, this is where I'm going to stop with this. I mean, it's annoying to me. They are making a joke of gender dysphoria, and this is something that they like, and this is the whole trender thing. And maybe it's not nice of me, maybe they actually do have issues with this. But the way they are talking, the way they are portraying it, it's all a laugh for them. Oh no, I call myself cisgendered or demi-girl because, well, reasons. Trust me, gender dysphoria isn't something you talk about smilingly and laughingly. It's a problem. It's not something you enjoy. But they seem to enjoy themselves. But in all fairness, Ashley is a demi-girl. Well, she's a girl who identifies as a demi-girl. And Riley, the one that I didn't talk about yet, is a boy who identifies as a girl, but he still has his dick, and he's not interested in boys, he's interested in girls, so he's a lesbian. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate, you're a transgender. You're a boy dressing up as a girl who still wants to have sex with girls. Now, I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to have sex with girls. There's nothing wrong with trying to dress like a girl. but trying to pretend you're something all of your own because of that. No, you're not. And if you're truly a transgender, then when did you start your treatment? When did you start pre-op for gender reassignment surgery? But you're not. You're not going to go through that because that's not what you want. That's not who you are. Well, fair enough that that's not who you are, but then you're not a transgender. You're a transtrender. Recognize this, please. Okay, so this is where I'm going to call it quits. In all fairness, this subject is something that pisses me off. And I really have a problem with transtrenders like that. I mean, to them, it's a joke. People are actually in real pain, and to them, it's a joke. I don't understand this. And people are actually supporting people like Riley and Ashley. And I invited Ashley to a discussion. Of course, this will not happen. But then again, by seeing this video, the chances of that will be smaller. I don't mind. The idea that this is a joke is a problem. There are actually people hurting because of this. Anyway, like, share, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Criticism, as always, is more than welcome. I hope to see you all soon. Have a good day.